Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cool Crone, and welcome, Susan Lynn. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so we are going to be, this is going to be a very kind of a free form session here. So if you have questions, by all means, put them in the chat and I'll try to keep an eye on that. And first, I'm just going to ask Susan Lynn a couple of questions. So, Susan, for everybody who may not know you, I'm sure most people do know you, but for anybody who does not know you, who are you and what do you do?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am a psychic and a medium. I have a YouTube channel. I do readings and classes and I have a membership. So I'm on YouTube quite a bit. I do a lot of political readings, but I will say that when I started my channel, I honestly wanted it to be 50% spiritual and 50% political. And I kind of did that till the last year when things just got a little out of control. And it just seems like there's so much politically that's going on that I'm always doing political videos. I hope that things calm down and I'm able to do more spiritual. I really like I just introduced that a new thing called Way Out Wednesdays.
I've
So on
seen.
Wednesdays,
Yeah.
the guides guided me to do that. So I'm doing a spiritual topic every Wednesday and dropping a video on that. But I love to teach, and I just love to help people like turn on their own spiritual light bulb.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. And how did you get started doing this?
So for me, and I want to stress that everybody's different. Um, for me, I as a child, I could see ghosts and I could talk to them, but it wasn't a good thing for me. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel divine or fun. It felt kind of weird and scary. So I basically blocked it, and I literally blocked it for the majority of my adult life. Um, and then I got to the point where I started having, I find that some of us have spiritual awakenings more than once in our life. You may have
Mhm.
one in your 20s or one in your 40s and then another one in your 50s or 60s or 70s. But at some point, if you're supposed to do this work or you're supposed to experience it more than you are, you will have a spiritual awakening that will be kind of a big one. And so that's what happened to me. But I'm stubborn. So it took a long time for them to convince me to do this. And then, and how does that look like? You start many ways, but you can start having psychic outbursts, like, just saying things to people like, I know you're going to get the job. And they look at you and they go, I didn't tell you I was applying for a job. And then you're like, oh, snap, I'm in trouble. Right. So, they'll push you. If you're not going to do it, you might find that you're being pushed. I was pushed. And so I started doing readings. They introduced me to a friend that kicked me in my butt all the time, who just said,
Mm.
"You've got to do this. You've got to do this." I mean, really, really pushy, and that actually helped me. And then, as far as my channel goes, they just said, We want you to create a community." And I said, "Okay." And then I tried Facebook, and it kind of didn't really work. I tried Instagram; it didn't really work. So then I tried YouTube. Now, you guys, I'm not. There's not even photos of me, much less videos. I know you guys don't believe this, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm an introvert. I am not a public speaker. I am not a person who does things in the public arena. This is a miracle that I'm on this video right now. So that's kind of, and so here's the community, right? I think that actually I joined a community. I saw Linda G, right? I saw all these people and I thought, these people are keeping me sane. And then, and I'm sure this happens to you and your viewers, right? You're watching somebody on YouTube do a prediction and then you're answering the question before they do. So the
Mhm.
question is, will Trump XYZ? And then you're saying yes. And then the person on YouTube says yes. And you go, oh, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of some of it.
Cool. Very cool. And so on your channel, you said you try to keep it 50-50 between political and spiritual stuff. What other kind? I've seen your political stuff and I love it. I love the whole doing political stuff. I can't keep my ego out of it, so I don't do it because when I
It's
start,
hard.
yeah, it's really hard. And I did a little tiny bit of it when I first started my channel, and my daughter was helping me, and she was like, I don't think you should do political at all. And I said, well, political is what everybody wants to see. And she said, yeah, but I don't think you should do it. And I was like, she's usually pretty right about stuff like this. So I just took her advice. And I do political every once in a while when I'm with other people, but because that kind of helps. That kind of helps to put a buffer up. But I get too angry and I
Oh,
don't.
I know.
Yeah, and I don't you don't want to see angry Colleen on YouTube.
No,
That's not good. It's
no.
too much. So what kinds of things for your members? What kinds of things do you offer for your members?
Right. So I have a Patreon membership. And I did that because the guides were telling me I needed to have something outside of YouTube because the political stuff was going to get heated up so much that and it's still a potential, right, that I could lose my channel. So for my members, we do every other Sunday, we do a soul growth Sunday, which my spirit guides, we just had it this morning. My spirit guides ask questions. They tell me what questions to ask. My
Right.
members show up, we do it on Zoom, and I say the guides want us to ask this question. So basically, what does your higher self have to say to you? But it's different questions every other week. And
Mhm.
then we pull a card and we journal. It's for our own growth. We're not reading each other. It's all about us. And I have to say that this is my 17th Sunday, and I can see a huge difference in the people that come. Their energy is just like boom, just
Wow.
and even mine, right? I'm right there with them. I'm pulling the cards too, going, oh, what the hell? You know what I mean? I'm doing
Yeah.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But the beauty, and I encourage you guys to do this on your own, because if you write it down, and I'm not a journaler, I don't like writing things down. I can't even read my own handwriting. But what the magic of that is that when we get guidance from spirit, whether it's repeating numbers or you hear something or a person says something to you or it's a song, however it comes to you, or you pull something from a card, your brain doesn't have anywhere to store that information. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, here's a filing cabinet for work. Here's one for personal relationships. Here's one for my society. Here's one for work, whatever, whatever, whatever. There's no filing cabinet for guidance from spirit. So your brain doesn't remember it. You're
Mhm.
just like, oh my God, that's so interesting. That's right on the money. And then you go off and do whatever it is you're doing
Yeah.
and you don't remember it. But if you write it down, what will happen is over the course of a month or longer, you'll go back and look at that and it tells a story.
Mm.
Not only is it guidance, but it's guidance that you've collected over a period of time.
I'm
And
writing
it's
that down.
actually
I'm writing it
unnerving.
down. I'm writing it down right now.
It's actually unnerving how accurate it is. It's almost like, whoa, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, if you don't write it down, you just won't remember. This is just us. It's just how we are. There's nowhere to store it. Doesn't make any sense. So I encourage you guys, if you do nothing else, just write it in your phone. If you don't have anything else, write it in your notes on your phone. I saw this. I mean, even if you saw an animal that was acting odd, a crow landed on my car yesterday, wouldn't leave. Then 3 days later, I heard this song. And then 2 weeks later, I smelled something. And you could put all those together and go, oh my God, my dad was visiting me. But
Wow.
on its own, it doesn't make any sense. So for you, because you're an astrologer, you might then go in and say, these things all happened, and then you're just kind of following along, and then boom, there's a full moon, and you're like, oh, or there's a particular, thing within your astrology that then adds more import to those signs, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's really just making it useful. It's
Yeah.
not useful if you don't write it down. I mean, and I, coming from someone that doesn't like to write things down.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that. And I know since I started my channel, just doing the monthly forecasts, I write it all out for myself. I write it on my computer, and
Oh,
as
nice.
as I'm going, and then I put it up as a blog on my website later. But as I'm going through those dates, I'm kind of making mental, notes of, what things I think might affect me. And later on, when I get to those dates, I'm like, yeah, I got to go back and check that. And it's very instructive because you and your spiritual journey is your spiritual journey. So whatever helps you key into this was a moment. This was a moment I need to pay attention to. This was a lesson I needed to really pay attention to. That's very helpful and very important. It's really, really important. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. Wow.
Thank you. And thank you, Kelly's Creative Dreams, for
Yes.
putting my information. I do appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
But we
very
do other things on Patreon. Right now I'm doing psychic practices, and we've had workshops. We've had animal communication workshops. I've done readings. It's $9. It's $9 a month. It's pretty reasonable, and it's I try to action pack it. I mean, I don't know, but it seems like people enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you're going to be doing some classes. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh my God. I hate talking about myself. So I don't have this set in stone yet, but I know it's happening. So in January, I've got a class coming up. And I all last year I taught almost every month. I must have taught 6 classes last year, a lot of classes.
Wow.
I really do like teaching. So starting in January, I'm going to be doing a foundational intuitive class. Now, what that means is some people just like, what is a pendulum? How do I use my cards? We're even going to talk about divining rods. We're going to talk about all the clairs. What is clairsentience? How do I use that? We're going to also have breakout rooms where you practice the clairs, where you practice giving readings. We're going to assign you a partner, and you're going to have workout. You're going to have homework to do in between the classes. So it's a very robust class. Um, and that's going to be starting in January. I think it's going to go 6 weeks. I'm going to be co-teaching it with Donna Norris, which, if you've been on my channel, she's an animal communicator, a certified animal communicator. She's also a psychic and a medium. So I think it's going to be a fun class. And I think I'm kind of excited about it, actually. And then I will be doing classes on mediumship. I will be doing other classes, because honestly, my spirit guides, that is what I'm supposed to be doing on this earth at this time. I never thought I was a teacher. It used to terrify me to think of teaching people. And I'll just give you this tip too. My previous career, I was a professional photographer for 22 years. And during that time, this is I was a medium, but I was blocking it. Okay. So I wasn't really actively talking to my spirit guides, but doesn't matter because they're actively guiding you. So it doesn't really matter if you're not paying attention. They're happy to guide you anyway. So I kept getting this impression: write a book, write a book, write a book. Oh my God. Teach, just constant, like always coming into my awareness. That's guidance. And I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't want to teach. I didn't think I could teach. I actually hired a photographer friend of mine to teach for me. So even back then, I was resisting my life path, my life journey. Now I still haven't written the book. That, trust me, they're not done with me yet. Um, they've got me teaching, and I will continue to teach. I really actually do enjoy teaching, and I'm starting to believe that I'm a good teacher. But it's interesting, isn't it, that we don't always own our gifts. And I don't know why that is, but it is what it is, right? There's so many of you guys watching this that are psychic. That people always comment in my comments on my videos. Well, I'm not psychic, but I saw X, Y, and Z. I'm like,
Right.
well, how in the heck did you see it if you're not psychic, right? So it's just something that we all kind of are wrestling with. And of course, the veil is thinning between the worlds, between our world and other worlds. And that's allowing us to be more psychic. And that's going to engage us in new ways as well.
And have you noticed just how quickly 2022 passed? This felt like 3 months. I mean, this year just went whoosh and it's done. And I kept feeling all year like, okay, I'm in a busy period right now, but it's only going to last for a little while. The whole friggin' year was a busy period. I'm whooped. I'm like,
Right.
it was a lot. This last 2 days, both me and my daughter slept so much. And every day we'd get up and go, that's so weird. I've slept so much. I slept like, God, that's so weird. I was like, no, it's been a really, really busy year. Super busy.
And exhausting, mentally and emotionally exhausting. A lot of us are empaths, right? So
Yeah.
we're just being exhausted, and we don't mentally, you don't think that you are, but the energy is just exhausting us, right?
Yeah. I mean, I work what I call a civilian job. I go,
I love that.
I have a civilian job that's 9 to 5, and I teach in my civilian job. And it's supposed to be 50% of what I do. But for the last 3 years, it's been 150% of what I do, because it's been like 3 times the number of people. And when I teach, it's either a 2-day class or a half-day class. And regardless of which one I'm doing, it's just like, it's the same. So I feel like, those little monkeys that you wind up and they bang the cymbals, that's been me for 2.5 years. Just,
Wow.
and so of course I'm exhausted. Of course
Yes.
I feel, like bad, but I'm getting a new job in January. So I'm very happy. I'm still supposed to teach, but when I asked them, well, how much teaching, how much is, your classes? Cause I'm like 2 days, and they said, oh, let's see, like 1 to 2 hours. And I went, oh, I like that. I want your job. Yeah, that's good. Then I can do all the other stuff that I need to do. So I'm pretty happy about that. So, yeah, well, I'm also thinking of, not thinking, I'm planning on doing memberships for 2023. So I've been putting out posts to my viewers and asking them, what would you like to see for, benefits for memberships? And they've had lots of great ideas. And so I don't know yet what I'm going to be doing for 2023. Hopefully by 2023, I will figure that out.
It'll come.
Yes, it will come. Absolutely. So, all right. So I did get a few questions from viewers. Users are what I call people at my job, my civilian job. So let me see if she's here.
I love that you call it civilian.
I know. Because this stuff, I have done this stuff since I was very, very young. I started doing astrology. I mean, when I learned how to read, the first thing I wanted to read was the horoscope newspaper, because my dad would read the newspaper every morning, and I could see on the back page, right by the classifieds, I could see the horoscopes, right? So as soon as I could read them, I read them, and I said, this is a crock of nonsense. How could this be true? How can somebody say for everybody born under that sign that this is what's going to happen for them today? So I first had that attitude. And by the time I was maybe 8, so I learned how to read when I was about 5 or 6. By the time I was like 8, I had already started getting astrology books. My brother went away to college, and he came back for Christmas one year with his girlfriend, who was an astrologer. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you, universe.
Exactly.
She got me started. And then they went, of course, back to college. And then a couple of years later, his fiance was also an astrologer. So she actually gave me lessons in astrology. So by the time
Wow.
I was 11, I was throwing charts and giving readings to people in astrology. So
Wow.
an 11-year-old cannot possibly comprehend just the
I
math
mean,
goes into astrology, just the math, because there was no computers then. So, I
oh
mean,
my
that's
God.
obviously a big old past life thing coming out, maybe
Yeah.
maybe thousands of past lives, because I mean, my readings were very accurate actually. And I'm like, I still don't know quite how I did that, but I did. And so all my life I've done astrology, and all the other little things along the way have just seemed like, well, yeah, of course you would do that. Of course you would learn about numerology. Of course you would learn about palm reading. Of course you would pick up a string with a big heavy object at the end of it and see if you could get an answer. All those things to me just were like, of course you would do that. Of course. So, but I've always, well, up until recently, I always just thought it was amazing when people were psychic. I didn't think I was psychic.
I know, right? I know.
I was like, wow, isn't that cool? And my sister who's very psychic, and both my brothers who are very psychic would look at me and go, Colleen, you're very psychic. Why aren't you thinking that? And I'm like, well, but I can't do what they're doing. And they're like, ugh, okay, So it took me a while to get on the train, but I finally did. And for me, my clair is claircognizance. My strongest clair is claircognizance, which I think is really cruel to put on a child, because a child, will come out with something and say, oh yeah, but it's this. And the adults in the room will go, oh, that's cute that you think and they really poo-poo it. So that put a real damper on it
That's
for
true.
me. And so this has taken me until way into my adult life to finally figure out that, no, that's really your knowing. You're really getting that stuff. I think all the astrology stuff was that way. I think that
I
was,
do too. Yeah, I do too. It
yeah.
was channeled. You were actually channeling it. And
Yes. Yeah. The symbols on the page were what I used to zoom into what the energy was.
that's
So it
amazing.
was channeling using those symbols. Now, how the hell would a 10, 11-year-old know those symbols even? Even that, I just look at it and go, people got to think you're nuts when you're telling this story. But you know what? It is true. It's my truth, and it's what is true for me. But so yeah, so I'm working on mediumship. I've taken a couple classes, and I really like that. And I like it because it's a nice adjunct to claircognizance, because I know what claircognizance feels like. So when I do get messages that are more not just this is the fact, this is what you know, but a more of a message kind of thing, it kind of feels, oh, okay, this is the service road to the highway I've been on. Okay, I get this now. So I'm working on it. So anyway, guys, for membership stuff, I still don't know what I'm going to do, but mediumship might be in there somewhere. So
Nice.
soon. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let me get to the questions. There's just a few, and she's still not in there, but that's okay. So the first question is from Monica R. And Monica R asks, these are probably just mediumship questions, Susan. So unless you want to do cards, whatever. It says, does my maternal grandfather have a message for me? Monica R.
It's a little hard. I mean, I'll do that, but it's a little harder to connect when they're not in the
I
chat because
know, I know.
I kind of need their energy to connect. But I would say, did you say maternal grandfather?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And this is for Monica.
Monica R.
I'm sure she'll watch this video later. Monica, dear, your maternal grandfather, he sends us love. I feel like I'm seeing a big hand, like he had big hands. He's showing me holding your hand. Now his hand could have been big because he was much older than you when he's showing me this picture. You could have been much younger. But he sends you his love, and he's telling me there's something going on with your car. Um, he's in your life. He's with you. He's participating right alongside you. He has taken on, I mean, I wouldn't say he's a protector, but I would say that he can be serious when he needs to be. And I would say that sometimes he's a man of few words. Like sometimes he's sort of he watches things. Okay. So he's telling me something's going on with your car. This may have already happened. You may already know this. You're not going to get stranded somewhere, but there is something that you need to be paying attention to. And he says, and you know about it, but you're choosing to not do something about it. Maybe you don't have the money, or maybe you don't have the time, but he's saying he's saying you need to pay attention to it. So I'll just leave it at that, but he is with you. He does visit you. And he wants to say also, without getting too private, that he knows what's going on. He says, I know what's going on. You're not going to want this talked about in public, but you'll know what he's talking about. Okay.
Wow. Wonderful. That's great. So I'm going to take questions from the chat then. And we have Seascape who asks, and I'll throw cards, but you can do whatever you want to do. But
Sure.
How will the rest of December look for me?
Hey, Seascape. It's good to see you. Well, when I go into your energy, dear, you're busy. I mean, you are for real busy. Now, some of this is just dealing with the holidays. There's some kind of holiday energy of, it feels like you're outwardly focused a lot in December, meaning family or friends or work, or there's something in external. Okay. However, I always tell people, pay attention to what the spirit guides don't say as much as what they say. Because when they're saying that, they're also telling me, but there's something going on. You feel like personally, you're getting their butt. Like sometimes I just walk around and I go, they're trying to send me a message, but I'm not getting it. I feel like you're feeling like there's a message that you got this feeling like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what it is. That's the message. That's the feeling you're feeling. What am I forgetting? What am I leaving out? Why am I getting this nagging impression? The nagging impression is that they would like for you to take some time for yourself and go and just be chill. Like I think you will do this because it may not be right now. It may actually be, say, the 20th through the 23rd or 4th. You find yourself alone, meaning without a lot of things happening or without you preparing or being busy. They're asking you, you're going to want to have some introspection. You're going to want to sit by yourself. This is important, the by yourself part, and just look back on the year. There seems to be some information for you that you can look back on the year you've just had and you can say, oh, wow. I mean, maybe it's that it went fast, or maybe that it was, whatever. But there's a message for you. There's really an important message for you in looking back on your year. And they want to tell you, this is their message to you. Now, you're going to come up with your own message, but this is their message to you. And their message is, job well done. Job well done. You're here in December. You got through quite a busy or challenging year. Job well done. That's they're giving me chills on that. Hopefully that makes sense. What did you get, Colleen?
Okay, so I pulled that was beautiful message though, but just, man, beautiful. Okay, so I pulled 3 cards of tarot cards, and then I pulled a little oracle card. So the first card that I got was the High Priestess, and it's really hard to see them when I have a background on, but this is the Gendron deck. So I do think that there are some things that you don't quite understand going on, some secrets, but I think that there's secrets inside of you that you can get out, you can pull out of yourself. And the next card is the Chariot. So yeah, it's been busy. It's been just running wild, hanging on by the seat of your pants, maybe feeling like you just barely made it to each appointment, but you did get there. And the next card was the the Three of Hearts, feeling like perhaps you didn't do quite a good enough job, perhaps, doubting yourself. And now this goes back to the High Priestess, though. If you really look within, you'll see that you did a phenomenal, you did the best you could do. Louise Hay has a great saying about this. She always says, you did the best you could do with the understanding and wisdom that you had at the time. And just forgive yourself for everything else. And the last card is Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. Just love yourself. Just dig in there and, spa treatments and long hot baths and cuddle with your cat or your dog and just give to yourself over the holidays, because you really need it. And the doubt stuff, I didn't show you this card. The doubt, the Two of Swords, that is a little weed in the garden. Just pull that out and just say, why am I doubting myself? Did I not live up to somebody's standards? Was that Aunt Hattie's standards, who passed away 20 years ago, and I'm still living by her standards? That's a little weed you can just throw out of the garden and get rid of, and then use that time, that Mary Magdalene unconditional love time, to go within, to be your own high priestess, and to figure out what's going on here. Because I do think for 2023, I think that what I'm seeing is, in Harry Potter, when they go to Gringotts and they unlock the door to the vault, that's what's going to happen for you for 2023.
Nice.
You're gonna unlock that vault, and 2023 is going to be like, oh wow, big stuff, nice stuff, nice.
Yeah. And I just looked down, and here's the card.
Yes.
I looked down, and this is the card facing me. That was a great reading, Colleen. That was awesome. And very symbiotic, what I was seeing and what you were getting. Pretty symbiotic.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, dear. Seascape I love her weed in the garden, but they're telling me like fly in the ointment or fly in, it's actually just pick that sucker out, throw it aside, and serve the dish.
Yes.
Nobody has to know.
Yes. That's right. Just do one of these. Oh, look, and then take it out.
Exactly.
Get everyone out. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay. Did you guys not put any questions? And I'm seeing any.
Oh no, there's some questions in here.
Okay.
Another question was
okay. That's Seascape. We'll come back to you, Seascape, with your second question.
Man, I saw one.
Okay. Joe G says, I would love a message about the rest of this month too, please, and thank you. And lots of hearts and stuff for us. So Joe G.
If we've missed your question, post it again, because it kind of gets lost. Please just post it again. Joe G, a question for you for the rest of this month, which is the rest of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting letting go, Joe G. I feel like you're ready to let go and move on. I see you lighting a candle. I don't know why. And you may not light candles, and if you're moved to do so, you may do so. But there's this energy of you're tired, Joe G. You're tired. You're just, you feel, your energy feels like you've been trying to live up to somebody else's expectations, whether that's work or family or whatever. And you're just tired. It's like nothing is ever good enough. Or for some reason, you don't feel like you're catching up with the work or something like that. And your spirit guides are like, just let it go. You have kind of expectations that aren't really easily met. You might have a little bit of perfectionism tendencies as well. But just their advice to you is let it go. You have to. You really are aware of this, they're saying. And you have to just adopt it's good enough. It's just good enough. This is what I can do. And it's just like what Colleen said earlier about Louise Hay, I did the best I could given the energy and the time and whatever it was. You're doing the best you can do. And it's time to just acknowledge that and to love yourself. And your guides would like to see you have a slower pace. And even if I feel like you're telling me, but I'm already slow, or they don't care, slower. If you think that you're not doing enough, because that's the energy here, they're saying do less. I know that might be, completely opposite, but this is what your guides are saying. You're going to enter 2023 much more refreshed and much more full of vigor if you can just relax into it and not charge into it, if that makes any sense. What did you get, Colleen?
So I got the Three of Cups, which is usually saying, you got a party coming up. Now we are coming up into the big holidays. So, most likely you are planning on getting together with family and friends. And I would say enjoy that. Enjoy that very much. Enjoy it to the fullest. Now, the next card, though, is the Nine of Wands. So, you are kind of waiting for the next shoe to drop. If you go and have too much fun, you may be feeling like looking over your shoulder as if, some huge big monster is going to pluck you out of the party and put you back on the wheel, push it, pull it, and that is totally you. That is totally you just feeling guilty or feeling like you haven't done enough or whatever. And you can let that go. You're completely in control of that energy. And the next card is the Hierophant. You're hard on yourself. You've got big rules in your mind about what's right, what's wrong, what's the way you do things. And I'm hoping that 2023 is the year that you make new rules that make it much easier for you. And the oracle card that I pulled was Ostara, fertility. So this could mean a lot of things. It could mean that at the time of year of Ostara, things are really going to turn around for you and you're going to have a big new project that's just fantastic and makes you feel alive and happy and productive. It could also mean that just the idea of fertility, I don't know if you're trying to have more people in your family or not, but it could also be that kind of fertility, that you're going to be more fertile in 2023. And at least with new projects and creativity, definitely you're going to have more of that in 2023. And I think creativity is a wonderful way to feel like you're working hard, but you're also loving yourself. You're giving yourself expression. So instead of working hard on things for other people or just putting all of your heart and soul into maybe a job that isn't that fulfilling, do your job, still get your paycheck, but find a creative way of expressing yourself that will also feed your soul.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love the way you took it into 23. That's so nice.
Well, I'm thinking about 23.
Yeah. Well, that's what we probably should all be thinking about, right? But
yeah, it's going to be a wicked year. Not a wicked year. It's going to be a changing year. There's going to be a lot of changes in 2023, just super duper changes. And, some of us will take it better than others. And, March is actually the Ostara month, March. That's the month that things are really going to change. I mean, there's going to be, I think, astrologically, there's going to be some significant changes all along the way leading up to March, but March has got two major planets changing signs, and that shift in their energy is going to be felt by every single person on the planet, everybody. So,
is it a release when these things change signs? Do you feel like?
Well, yeah, it is a release. So Saturn, let's see, oh gosh, I have this. I just did the video on it. Well, let's talk about Pluto, and maybe Saturn will come to me. So Pluto, which has been in Capricorn and been sitting on the United States natal Pluto for almost 20 years, Pluto is changing signs. And that is going to be a huge shift of energy, because being in Capricorn is the government, all of our structures, all of our corporations, all of the structure of corporations, legacy, money, banking, Also food industries, the mineral industries, which impacts the computer, in the Silicon Valley stuff. All of that stuff is Capricorn. And Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn, digging up all the little weak foundations of things in our country, in the whole world, actually, and exposing them to the light, which is why we're seeing, and we have been seeing for about a decade now, exposure of people who are running things that are just crap, right? Including, unfortunately, a lot of our government. So with all of that coming to light, now Pluto going into Aquarius, Aquarius is the sign of the people, of humanity, of tolerance, of egalitarianism, of new and modern things. And so we are going to see that people who have new and modern ways of thinking are going to be creating things that are a better fit. So the old icky stuff that's crappy is going to just kind of like start to crumble and fall down, and we'll need new structures in their place, but we'll need structures that are appropriate for the time we are living in. Because a lot of those structures, I mean, I just think about the pipes in New York City. Those are like 150 years old. No wonder they have problems, but every other American town, mainly on the East Coast, all of that stuff is like a century old. So all of that stuff has to be reformed, but also companies, corporations, municipalities, the government, the structure of the government, our constitution, all of that stuff is going to be affected. And so it all has to not necessarily be destroyed, but it will have to be transformed. And so that's going to be a huge shift. And then we have Saturn going into Pisces. Saturn has been in Aquarius. So Saturn has been giving a lot of these, especially in government, in the progressives, a real leg up to accomplish some things. So even though they haven't got it perfect, they have accomplished some things. They have made progress, but also corporations have also made progress and started to work in better, new, modern ways that are really better for people, like a lot of remote working. That's better for people. It's just better. It's better for the planet. It's just better. So it isn't possible for every job on the planet, but for a lot of jobs it is. And now Saturn, when it moves into Pisces, we're going to see a tremendous amount of focus on compassion and taking care of others, and healing and spirituality. And also, though, you're still going to have Neptune in Pisces, so the kind of more downer, negative side of that, Pisces is still going to kind of be rumbling around, and that is delusion, illusion. Great. This cult mentality that has a grip on our country. Now, Neptune is also going to be changing signs in 2023. And thank you so much, because that cult stuff will start to loosen its grip.
Break up a little bit. Yeah.
So 2023 is going to be a huge, just a watershed shift.
A lot of shifts. Yeah. And so when you think about that, and you think about the shifts that are going to happen in our landscape, meaning political landscape, and our corporate world landscape, and all of those things. So it would be a good idea for you guys looking ahead to say, well, what am I going to do? Right? Like, how am I going to navigate that?
Mm-hmm.
What can I think about doing? So again, the guides are always saying, plan, ahead. So maybe you're going to take up some new hobbies, or maybe you're going to find a way to focus your mind elsewhere so that you're not quite so like attached to the outcomes, because that's what's going to really mess you up energetically, I think.
I think so too. And I think, for me, like I said, I'm starting a new job in January, and I have been really trying to move out of this job for quite some time. And I when I would get dejected, my friends, actually, I couldn't remind myself because I was too dejected, but I would say, maybe you're there for a reason. maybe you think your job is not a part of your spiritual journey, but it is. And maybe you're there to lift up other people. And I'm like, well, that, oh, oh, okay. Okay, I'll do that too. Because, I'm very empathic, and a lot of people, it's very hard for me to be around those people.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that there's a lot of empathic people at my job that, maybe we've never talked about that because I work at like I said, a civilian job where people don't talk about things like that. But, maybe they too are suffering in the same way that I kind of felt like I was suffering, that, oh, these people are just so, unenlightened, and they don't think about helping people, and they're just all about the bottom line, the dollar. But the worker bees like me, we need other people to lift us up. And it's really nice when someone does. And so I think that's what I've been doing. And, it took me a long time to really embrace that because I just didn't want to be there. But I finally did embrace it. And so I know that I've been doing good stuff. So I'm good. I'm good with it. And I think I see another question. Oh, here we go. Marge L. Will my brother-in-law get into and I just want to say Marge has put her question in all capital letters. Thank you, Marge. Thank you. Oh, and Deb B. Kane also has one. So we'll get to you too, Deb. Margel says, will my brother-in-law get into a good facility for dementia in the next couple of months? Worried about my sister-in-law's safety. Oh, my heart goes out to you, Margel. I really understand that situation. That is a tough one.
The guides are saying it couldn't happen fast enough. So even if we say it's going to happen very quickly, I get the sense that you're going to be saying to yourself, this was in the nick of time, or this really should have happened 3 weeks ago, or something like that. Okay. But I do see that happening. I do see that situation resolving itself. But I will say that I also see the potential for an escalation, if you will, in that situation. So, like a little bit of a violent escalation, in the sense that maybe something gets thrown, or, you know what I mean? I'm not seeing anything terrible, life threatening, but I'm just seeing, kind of the meanness that might be verbal or energetic becoming more physical. And that might be the last straw. That might be the thing that gets the ball rolling in a new way, in a more substantial way. But I do see it happening. How about you, Colleen?
Yeah, one thing that jumped out at me was the oracle card, and I think it's directed to your sister-in-law. She just needs to trust her inner voice. If she does feel herself in any kind of danger, any kind of, she just like too uncomfortable, especially if there's children involved, then she just needs to get herself to safety.
That's
But
true.
but in general, what I see, I got the Hierophant here. So that I think is the, oh, now you can't see it at all. Can you see it? No. I'm too
There you
close.
go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So the Hierophant, I think, is representing the medical community and the municipality, and
Okay.
so they will be taking it in hand. That was the first card that came up, and the second card was the Three of Cups. So everybody will be very pleased with the outcome there. And the third card is the Prince of Cups. So I think the person most involved with helping you with this is going to be a water sign, probably a man, at least a younger person who is, water signs are very often healers. They're very often doctors. So you're probably going to have a water sign, probably a male, but could be a female, somebody who's very, very compassionate towards your brother-in-law and helping getting him the help he needs.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry she's going through that,
Yeah.
and you're going through that by extension.
Yeah.
It's really a hard place to be when you're helpless, when your relative, your friend is going through something
Oh,
and you can't
yeah.
do anything.
Yeah. All of that stuff is so scary in the mind. The things that go on with the mind are just very hard and especially to watch it from the outside looking in.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
hard. So Deb B. Kane asks, may I please have a monthly reading or card? So she's asking about this month too, or just a card. Okay.
Deb, when I go into your energy, there's you're organizing. You're organizing. Maybe you're preparing for taxes or you're organizing something in your house. It could just be that you're doing it in your head first and you haven't taken action yet, but you're busy. Your mind is going like a hamster on a wheel. And because of that, you're missing something, dear. Your guides are saying you're well, they're saying you're missing you're kind of spending a little too much time up here in your mind, and they would like for you to open the windows and look outside, connect with nature, even if it's only looking at nature. Kind of get out of your headspace is what they're saying. You're very comfortable in your headspace. You're an analytical thinker kind of person, so that feels good to you. But your guides are like, it's not, it's becoming one-sided because you're spending too much time with your own counsel. So they would like for you to kind of disengage that overthinking for a little bit, because that really is coming to a head this month, actually. What do you got there, Colleen?
Okay, so we got actually these two came out together, the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So yeah, the mind is really it, and you're really, for you, you're thinking you're really at the top of your game as far as your mental abilities go, and
You are.
and you are probably, yeah. But there is a new project that you should be moving on to, so maybe there is something that needs to be wrapped up. But here's the thing: two other cards that I got was Strength and the Six of Pentacles. And what I'm going to say about those is that and then I also got an oracle card, but I'll come to that. So there are your mental hamster wheel stuff going is a little bit you resisting your own clairs, your own psychic abilities.
Oh,
You're pushing them down and just being like, squirrel, you're looking over here and doing 50 million things. And I don't know why. The cards are not telling me why, but you probably will know why. The thing is that right now, what the Strength card tells me is that you're behaving in ways that are seemingly admirable, but really out of character for you. Like you've got other things that you can pull out of yourself that would be much easier for you to do. So I don't know if you need to take a walk in the woods or meditate or pray or whatever, but some way be able to center yourself, ground yourself, and give yourself a moment of serenity and peace and listen to that little voice within. You don't have to run away from that voice. You can really embrace that and allow that to come in. And that feeling, that just that moment, say 5 minutes of that serenity, will help the other thing too. It will help you feel calmer about it. The card that came up for you, the oracle card, is Rhiannon the Sorceress. You're a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality.
nice.
So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, because you got some big old things coming. And so this too
Oh
for
my
you
God.
for 2023, this means that this is a whole different journey now. Now it's not about what kind of a multicolored planner can I get for 2023. This is about what kind of things can I manifest with this amazing brain power that I have and the connection to my heart, connection to
Holy,
soul. Yeah.
holy moly, mic drop. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and I just want to say, hey to the healing medium is here, Kevin. So
Hey.
happy to see you. Thank you for joining us. And hi to everybody, Sharon Sipe and all the moderators and everybody. Really appreciate you guys showing up today.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Do we have time for another question?
Yeah, we have time. I could probably do one or two more
Okay.
questions. There was a question earlier too from Mama Bear, really earlier, back at 3:12, about 20 or 30 minutes ago. Can I have a message from my guides? How will December be for me?
Sure.
Mama Bear at 3:12 my time. Are you Central Time, Colleen?
No, I'm Eastern time. So,
Okay, so it would be 4:12 your time is when
oh,
she
okay.
posted it.
Okay. All
And
right.
if we've missed your question, please put it in cat or repost it or something. Um, that was a very deep reading. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes
she
you need
says
them.
she's been organizing for 3 people. Yeah, I mean, I see it. You're like, I love that planner that Colleen pointed out because I kind of saw you like emission control, like there's a
Yep.
lot going on, right? Um, so
Yeah, the
you're
planners have
laughing.
just
Well, I'm glad because Colleen
huge.
brought it, man.
A
Oh,
big
good,
world.
good. Yeah, it's
I don't.
you don't see Mama Bear.
Yes. Okay. Can
Oh,
I, from Mama Bear, can I have a message from my guides for how December will be? Well, of course you can.
and Moonchild's been waiting too. Okay, thank you, Kelly. We'll make sure to get these two for sure. Mama Bear. Hmm. Somebody is telling me to tell you that everything is going to be okay. I don't know. They're not going into a lot of detail, but everything is going to be okay. I think that maybe December is can be a challenging month for you. Maybe you've had a loss that you're missing this person around the holidays, or um, there seems to be some looking back on your life with a little bit of sadness. Um, but at the same time, you're incredibly strong. I think that for those people that are very strong people, grief is actually really hard on you because by the time you really feel sadness or grief, it to overcome that strength, it has to be really big, right? So um, everything is going to be okay. It's okay to be sad, and it's okay. It's okay to feel that. You're not going to get trapped in it. You're not going to. It's not going to overwhelm you. Um, you are guided. You're being guided right now at this moment, and every day of your life, you're being guided. You're not going. You're still very strong. And there is something about music or a song that you've heard recently that is a message. They say you know what this is. Um, and then I would just say that January is a new beginning, and not just because it's number one in the calendar. There's a new beginning for you in January. Your energy shifts. Everything shifts. I don't know, and maybe that has something to do with your astrology, but something shifts for you in January, and you're able to. You've got new energy. You've got a new perspective. It's like you come. It's like spring. It's like springtime flowers are blooming, but for you, it's happening in January. So that's really something nice to look forward to, I think. Go ahead, Colleen.
Okay. All right. So I got the 10 of swords first. So
Yeah, see, that's what I was getting that.
yeah, the feeling, just feeling like you're literally on knife's edge, like you just
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen to you personally. And I don't know if you are actually afraid physically or not. You know, swords, they look really dangerous, but most of the time, swords indicate mental concepts and communication, like air signs do. They're talking, learning, reading, listening, studying, researching. And so you may be just anxious and overwhelmed by too much of that kind of mental work rather than anything like physical harm. And I do think that the whatever is going on with that, must be resolved pretty easily and pretty well in the month of December, because the follow-up card is the Nine of Pentacles, which is the I'm the happy lady in the garden and I'm feeling safe and secure. So something that happens in December shifts to allow you to feel much more in control. What I'm getting with this 10 of Swords is that you're feeling out of control. You're just feeling like you can't control it anymore. There's just something going on that's either too much of a burden or just too many things, and you're just feeling like it's not yours. And then it shifts, and then you're totally in control and you feel good. But you do have the Ace of Wands. So I'm going to chime in with Susan that January is going to be a brand new something or other, brand new stuff, brand new project, brand new you. Wands usually are your identity and how you're putting yourself out to the world. So maybe I don't know if it's just a new haircut or whatever, but something that you're putting out in the world is that I'm this now, and I'm feeling good, really good. And the oracle card that I get for you is Brigitte. Don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. Oops, I did it again. So
Don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. How interesting. Interesting.
Yes. So once you get that feeling, so I think that there's a little karmic lesson in here that you learn, because that feeling at the beginning of the month is just so, you don't feel as strong as what's coming at you. But boy, by about halfway or later in the month, you're feeling ultra strong and in control. So you've learned to stand up for yourself. You've learned something big in December. So kudos to you.
And it's internal. You learn. It's not
Yeah.
it's really about an internal boundary that might be for an external thing. But it's all good. I mean, that's good if you ask me.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree. Very,
happy
very
to
good.
be able to give you the good news.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay.
And then Moonchild, Kelly was kind enough to post it.
Okay, good.
Moonchild, may I have a card, please?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just jump in really quickly. I
Yeah, go
got
ahead.
2 cards for you, dear. I got purification. So purification, and I also got the card sound. And I think they really go well together for you. And I saw chakra just briefly. So what I think your spirit guides would like for you to know is that for you, there is a real you could utilize sound purification or sound healing very easily right now. So you could even watch YouTube and watch a sound healing. Also, I think you're very I think I think you have sharp hearing. I think that you're very sensitive to like noises or things that are loud. So your guides are saying you could also use those binaural beats, where you put earphones in your ears and then the beats kind of come into different sides of your head. That would be really good for you. And I think it would purify, I think it would balance and clear your energy. So that's kind of what I got. What did you come up with, Colleen?
Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles here, and the Six of Pentacles is all about giving and receiving. So I think you need to ask and be given things. You need to ask for things and not be afraid of doing that. But you've also got the King of Wands, and kings are not always just people. Kings are sometimes releases, because kings, if you think about it, a king represents a person who is at their master level of what they do. They're at the top. There's nobody above them. There's nobody who's going to teach them or mentor them. So for the king, really his choices in life career wise is he's either going to start mentoring a bunch of people and teach, or he's going to retire. And so that's a letting go. And so, especially in the wands, because wands again are your identity. So I think that there's something there that you need to let go of. And as you let go, you'll receive, because you had the first card was the card for receiving things. And that opens you up to the Three of Cups. Boy, a lot of people have gotten the Three of Cups. And I did shuffle. But so happiness, happiness and feeling not just happiness, but feeling a togetherness with the people around you and feeling good and loved and nurtured and belong, like you belong to that group. And the oracle card that you got was, I don't know how to pronounce this, Mawu, Mother Earth. You're called upon to help with environmentalism. So whatever that means to you, the earth is calling. So maybe that's the new thing. I don't know, but let go, and start 2023 with a new thing, something that's new coming up for you.
And I think the earth could be healing for you. When
Yes.
you say environmentalism, I feel like the earth might be a source of healing or grounding for you
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. That's good. That's really, really good. Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you.
There's one more quick question. Can we do Alice L? Because that's the
Yeah.
only other question I see.
What is the question?
Well, darn. Uh, I saw her. Oh, here a message from her spirit guides. Let's just do a quick message from your spirit guides, and then we'll let everybody go on about their Sunday.
And I don't see it. And who's that from?
Alice L.
Alice. Alice.
Alice
Okay,
L.
you
And
have it. Message from Spirit
she's got the cutest pink hibiscus flowers
Aw,
in her message.
oh, cute.
I
Oh,
know.
there it is. I see it. Okay. Yay.
It's always a good idea to use some kind of emoji so that we can catch you. We can see it. You know what, Alice? They're telling me it's okay to look at the beauty and not look at the yuck. Like, I think you sometimes wonder, like, maybe I should be paying more attention to politics, or maybe I should be more, maybe I should. There's a don't should on yourself, right? Is another thing. We don't want to should on ourselves. But I feel like your guides are saying, no, please pay attention to the beauty. They love that about your energy. You have a beautiful energy about you that does focus on the positive. Maybe in your childhood people said, oh, you're too Pollyanna, or your head is in the clouds. Your guides are happy for you to be focused on beautiful things, happy things, fun things, creative. There's a lot of creativity in your energy. They're happy for you to be like that. Don't worry or give any credence to those people that say those things. They're just kind of jealous of your good vibration, honestly. So that's kind of what they're saying. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. All right. So, what I got for you, Alice, was the Queen of Pentacles, which is Queen of an Earth sign. And what I was getting the whole time that Susan was talking is that I get a tremendous amount of fairy energy from you. And fairies are of the earth. Their energy is very, it's not always light and happy, but it's usually true and of the earth. And it helps with things like they can help with a million things. I won't go into every single thing they can do, but your energy, because you do like looking at the things that are more pleasant and more positive, nothing wrong with that. That's a very fairy thing to do, actually. So the Queen of Pentacles, I'm going to just say that you're queen of doing that, that's your thing, and you're very, very good at that. And I'll just bet that when you are interacting with other people, I bet you lift their vibration quite a bit just by being that very, very positive, happy energy. You may not think that you're doing anything for them, but you don't really have to. You've just got this nice dose of good vibes that's coming off of you. Now, you do get the Three of Swords, and that's probably that little doubt, am I doing it right? Am I being a good little light worker and fairy? The answer, let me see. Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. Yeah. 1,000%, you're doing it right. And you've got the Ace of Swords coming up for 2023. So that means that there's going to be new endeavors for you, new projects, new things on the way, new ideas, new concepts, new friendships, talking and friendships. That always goes together for me. And you also got Rihanna as your oracle card. Where am I here? There I am. Rihanna, which is the sorceress. You're a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. And that is kind of a symptom of people who think positively too. They can manifest pretty easily. So that's what I'm given for you. So there you go.
I know. And Kelly's been so sweet to be
Yes.
helping us. Can you pull a card? Can we do a quick card just for
Yes.
her? I know we have to end this at some time because literally we could go on for hours and days. But Kelly has been so helpful. I would love to.
Yeah, let's do something for Kelly.
Let's do something for Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, your guides are saying that you don't, they're saying they would like for you to believe in your own magic. They would like for you to have more self-confidence, to have more self-love, to really toot your own horn, they're saying. This is something that I also, believe it or not, a lot of us deal with this. You're a healer. You've been a healer in past lives. You've been an alchemist in past lives. And you might be an alchemist in this life in the sense that you take something that's nothing and you creatively make it into something creative, right? That's kind of an alchemist. If you take something that's a blank sheet of paper and you make it into something beautiful or whatever it is. So they're saying that there's a lot of positivity around you. I can see where maybe life has been hard on you in the past, but I see a lot of positive things coming for you. But it does help if you can match that vibration. Sometimes when we're like having kind of a low vibration because of all the things, the heaviness or whatever it is that you're sort of dealing with, I feel like there's external factors that are weighing on you. I don't think you have a low vibration, but I think there's external factors that are kind of bringing your vibration down. So push it to the side. What is yours and what is not yours? Put some boundaries up because your light is supposed to shine. Okay, they're saying your light is supposed to shine. So allow your light to shine is what their message is to you. And you have a beautiful light.
Beautiful. Wow, that's nice reading. All right. So, Miss Kelly, the first card that I got for you is Justice. So if you have been giving too much, now a lot's going to be given to you. And if anything that needs to be balanced in those scales, at this point, you don't even have to worry your pretty little head about it. The universe is going to do it for you right now.
Yes.
So you're in kind of a golden moment here running into the end of the year. And the next card, which I really think is a great portent for the beginning of a new year, is the Fool. And the Fool is giving you a chance to start a new journey in 2023. I'll keep it up there a minute because it is a pretty card. Giving you a chance to start a new journey in 2023 that takes you into different places where, maybe some of this stuff coming back from the Justice card gives you a little more confidence and makes you, stand a little straighter and believe a little more in what you're saying and just, give a little more credence to your opinion, your feelings, your abilities than you did before. And the third card, this is interesting. So the universe is going to give you this, going to make you feel all these good feelings, right? And then it's going to test you just a little bit. And that's the Five of Wands.
I hate it when they do that.
But in this Five of Wands, this is a little even less active than the one in the Rider-Waite deck. It's just two people. And they're literally not really fighting. They're just kind of like pushing the wands against one another. So it's either a game, a drama, they're doing pretend fighting, or it's them just testing one another, just testing themselves, just trying to say, did you learn it? Did you get it? Did you understand that you're just perfect the way you are? Did you get that message? Because you need to get that message. So just a little bit of actually mirroring you, reflecting back to you that you have all this wondrousness about you. And the oracle card I got, I really don't know how to say this one. It's Sige. It's either Sige or Sige or Sieg, or I don't know. Anyway, it says quiet time. Take some. I've never pulled. I've had this deck for probably 10 years. I've never pulled this card
Isn't
out.
that funny?
Yeah, it's weird. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. And I think that
Nice.
would be a good thing for you to do. You know, take some time to get to know that inner voice even better. Get to know her, trust her, believe in her, and then, you know, put her outside to play once in a while. See how she does. So there you go. Okay.
Great reading. Thank you guys so
Yes.
much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is really, really nice. And Susan, thank you so much for joining me on this. This was so fun. This is so
It was fun. Girl, you bring it. Y'all, Colleen's readings bring it. I'm like, whoo, Lord, I saw some smoke. I saw fire. I don't know what I
That's
saw.
what's going on behind my back here. That's all me. That's not a background.
That's right. Oh, that's great, Kelly. I'm so glad that you booked a 3-day private retreat. May we all book a 3-day private retreat.
Yeah.
I wish that for all of us.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of self-care. That's beautiful. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Well, thank you, all of you in the chat. Thanks for everybody asking questions. This was just amazing. Susan, I hope you will agree to do this again sometime because I really enjoyed having you on. I enjoyed working with you. It's really fun to work with you.
Absolutely.
And everybody have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful December. And I'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
Bye.